how your razor can raise awareness. I'm Bella Fahey on how facial hair is making heads turn.
All my friends, I've told all my friends about the pantry and make sure I bring them here because it's cost efficient.
Need to restock? I'm Grace Powell with this week's Rocket Resource.
Money is like toothpaste. It's easy to get it out of the tube, but try to put it back in. And this is the problem that the Federal Reserve's having at the moment.
Worried about pump prices? Shopping for Christmas? I sat down with Mike Dowd, economist at the University of Toledo, to talk about what's going on with our economy.
We also have your unofficial election results for the most closely watched races in the 2022 midterms. UT10 News starts now. It's been a busy week across the UT10 viewing area as many of you cast ballots in some very closely watched races.
Let's dive right in. Mike DeWine is called to have won the governor election, securing all but 4 counties' majority vote. He received 63% of votes, while Democratic opponent Nan Whaley secured 37%.
Republican J.D. Vance will occupy Ohio's Senate seat, defeating Democratic incumbent Tim Ryan with 53% of the vote. Ryan received 47% of the total votes.
Democrat Marcy Kaptur secured Ohio's District 9 seat in the House with 57% of the votes over J.R. Majewski, who received 43% of the total votes.
And in Michigan's race for governor, Democratic incumbent Gretchen Whitmer received 54% of the votes cast, with her Republican opponent Tudor Dixon receiving just 44%. We have a link to all of the unofficial election results on our website, ut10news.com. Now, let's revisit ballot issues making headlines across America. California, Michigan, Vermont, and Kentucky all voted in favor of protecting reproductive freedoms and abortion access. Montana's Born Alive bill was rejected by 53% of voters.
North and South Dakota, as well as Arkansas, all voted against legalizing recreational marijuana, while Maryland and Missouri voted for the legalization.
Colorado passed a bill decriminalizing and regulating certain psychedelic drugs.
Alabama, Tennessee, Oregon, and Vermont voted yes to remove wording that permits forced labor as punishment from their state constitutions. Louisiana, a former slave-holding state, rejected the measure.
The controversial law asking the government not to burden a person's religion was rejected in Arkansas after a close vote.
Iowa voted yes to strengthen gun protections and the right to keep arms as well as bear them. Oregon's Measure 114, which includes a permit to purchase program and a ban on possession of magazines exceeding 10 rounds, appears to have passed, with the majority of voters choosing yes. If you have yet to start holiday shopping, be prepared for seasonal sticker shock.
We're all familiar with inflation. UT10 Sydney Shalwicker spoke with an expert to find out why it's rising at such a drastic rate.
Can't drill if you don't have a permit, licenses, all of these things have been essentially shut down. And if you wonder why gas prices are so high, that's the reason.
It's not just gas prices that have increased. Our economy has also caused the price of goods to go up drastically.
Things are not broken, but they're seriously bent. The Federal Reserve has been, for the last decade, has been increasing the money supply at unholy rates. But if you look at the growth rate of the money supply after COVID, actually the time series diagram, the increase is vertical. You're putting $5 trillion of additional spending into the economy. You know what $5 trillion actually amounts to? Put it in $1,000 bills, not $1 bills. $5 trillion would be a pile of money 315 miles high. If you increase the money supply without a growing economy, you have a lot more money trying to buy the same amount of goods. And so the amount of dollars you need to buy the goods just takes more. Now this was with Trump, it is with Biden, this is not one party. Anyone could rattle off 5 things that should be done. But the economy is pretty complicated. Whatever those 5 things, yeah, I'm sure they would contribute. But it really needs to be a full concerted effort to try to bring down inflation. Quick solutions, it's not the case.
I'm Sydney Shawwecker for UT10 News.
The US inflation rate currently sits at 8.26% compared to 5.39% last year, as gas prices continue to fluctuate around $4.
Dr. Dowd also explained how spending changed during the pandemic
and how it affected the greater economy.
Consumer spending, about the same time, everyone was so scared. February, March, April, with good reason. But if you look at spending, you get past July, and it too started to rebound. Now, we're still not back to where we were in 2019, but there was a rebound.
Everyone is feeling these inflation impacts, but some students are struggling much more than others. And while this week's Rocket Resource is there to help students, they need some help themselves to make it possible. Here's UT10's Grace Powell.
Food insecurity nationwide is an issue. About 40% of college students are dealing with food insecurity.
Rocket Fuel is UToledo's student food pantry, here to help fight food insecurity and take some stress off student budgets.
We don't want your academics to be affected, or your social life, your mental health, things like that. And so if we are able to address your basic need, I think you're able to succeed in other areas. We have seen an increase in the utilization of the pantry. We are trying our best to restock, and we're finding it very difficult to keep the pantry fully stocked each day. And we accept monetary donations, we accept food items.
Rocket Fuel has more to offer students than just food. They also stock things like toiletries.
I get most of my stuff here. I get a lot of things from the pantry. That minimizes my cost as to buying groceries and toiletries from Walmart or Kroger.
Each week, students get a $10 credit to use at Rocket Fuel, with each item's price labeled accordingly.
But of course, if there is a greater need and the student needs to take more than the recommended amount, we will not turn away a student. So
I've told all my friends about the pantry. I make sure I bring them here because it's cost efficient.
In the Student Union, I'm Grace Powell, UT10 News.
Rocket Fuel is located on the second floor of the Student Union on campus. If you need help or would like to help, visit our website ut10news.com.
You may have heard of No Shave November, where men grow out their facial hair. But do you know the story behind the beard? I had the opportunity to speak with an organization on campus that is raising awareness in their Greek village. The phrase No Shave November was coined back in 2003 when a group of friends decided they would rather raise money than grow their facial hair. Organizations like Sigma Alpha Epsilon take a twist on the No Shave November challenge. Instead, nationally and at the University of Toledo, they participate in Movember, where members shave their facial hair and grow mustaches to raise awareness for prostate cancer as well as men's mental health. This is the third year of participation for the Ohio New Chapter at U Toledo.
Basically, anyone that shaved their face is participating in Movember. Last year I helped a lot with it, so it's kind of my second time doing it, so it's kind of nice to see actually like where it's come from last year to this year.
The organization plans to continue tabling and talking about the stigmatisms that circle around men's health.
I think mental health, I feel like as men sometimes we kind of take on the world by ourselves. Like when you see someone else who like kind of shave their mustache or their beard, it's cool to kind of know like you're not alone, like we're all in it together. And it's just an opportunity to kind of talk about something that not many people talk about, which is men's health.
The members of Sigma Alpha Epsilon will continue to grow out their facial hair for the rest of the month.
Thank you, Belle. Speaking of No Shave November, after the break, we turn things over to the anchor with the best start on our team.
Striking towards the pros, I'm Jamal McKinney with the Athlete of the Week, breaking down why he could be going from the minors to the majors.
This appears to be a rising star in your community.
Take a look at how you are notified. Students and teachers at a local school celebrate the lifted restriction. Put it where you plan on going.
You touchdown winner in the student television category.
But they're looking to catch you when you're off your game. We begin with continuing coverage on a story we first brought you last month.
From UT10 News, Tiara Medic.
I got the Touchdown Award for student television, and I got a scholarship. I feel really honored and surprised, but I mean, you just have to believe in yourself.
We'll see much more for great work in the future.
I'm Jamal McKinney, and this is your UT10 Sports Report. A kid that grew up loving Detroit-style pizza has taken a big step towards his dreams. Kyle Jones is forever thankful for his 4 years at the University of Toledo as a student athlete, but now he's motivated to take major leaps forward, even if they are minor, starting out.
My diet, like on a day-to-day basis, I'm just focused on getting as much protein as I possibly can. So like eggs in the morning, chicken, and then ground beef or something at night.
While Kyle Jones has idolized many different MLB superstars, there's always been one particular future Hall of Famer that has stood out to Kyle above the rest.
I always loved watching Justin Verlander. Being from Detroit, he was always the guy growing up. It's definitely cool to see him still in the league and still pitching. I'm a 4-pitch guy. I got a fastball, cutter, splitter, and curveball.
While Kyle's curveball and fastball initially put him on the radar, there's more to the story that eventually saw him being drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the 7th round of the 2022 MLB draft.
There was actually a facility back home, Primetime Velocity, that they actually introduced me to throwing the splitter. Our new pitching coach, John Sheehan, really worked on it this past fall. After the season was over, we started working on a cutter, and I'm really liking how it's progressing. Going into the draft, I actually didn't even expect the Twins at all. Me and my agent had gone over all the teams that we thought were the most interested in me, and the Twins honestly weren't even in the top 10. Once that call came in, and then we saw my name pop up on the board, it was really rewarding and just relieving. I just need to continue to refine my craft and stay healthy.
Kyle overall believes his preparation is something that could set him apart from the rest and hopefully allow him to continue to climb towards being a full-time Major League pitcher. The 6-3 Toledo Rockets took on the Ball State Falcons this past Tuesday in the Glass Bowl. This contest would take place right underneath the bright lights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time in the Glass Bowl, and Rocket fans were more than rocking right before kickoff. Ball State would take a 14-7 lead early in the second quarter behind Carson Snead's 30-plus yard touchdown run. But DeQuan Finn and the Rockets would respond on the very next drive as Devin Maddox found the end zone for a 48-yard touchdown score. This contest came down to the wire with both teams even at 21 all late heading into the fourth quarter. But when in doubt, DeQuan Finn and the Rockets were able to put this one away. On play action, Finn was able to find Jamal Turner for an easy score with less than 2 minutes to go. A pass intercepted by Maxon Hook was ultimately able to seal the deal for the Rockets, who would prevail in this one 21-28. Well, the Rockets basketball team appears to be off to a fantastic start this season. Taking place at Savage Arena, the Rockets led by senior Seth Milner, who finished the game with a 15-point double-double, would jump out with great energy early and took a commanding 26-point lead heading into halftime in their first official regular season game against Valparaiso. While Valparaiso would show some fight in the second half, the Rockets would go on to win the game by the final score of 85-70. The Rockets next are on the road at the Barstool Sports Invitational in Philadelphia. They will play UAB in the first round tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. And that's it for sports. Back to you, Belle and Crystal.
Thank you, Jaman. That's it for UT10 News.
Remember, you can catch newscast replays on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on social media and listen to 88.3 WXUT FM Saturday mornings at 7:45 for the UT10 News Weekly Update. We will see you next week.